Okay, guys, let's begin. All right. So the overall level of this exam was easy to moderate, barring a passage or two. The rest of the paper was easy. Even parajumbles, the VA part was easy. So what we are going to do is we are going to analyze question basis. I'm going to tell you about the level of the entire paper, question by question, right? This is how we go about it. So let's begin. A quick synopsis of passage one. So in this passage, author talks of the importance of a rhetoric in economics. Rhetoric, as most of you must already be aware, uh, rhetoric means persuasive language, persuasive speech. Basically, the fluff of speech. Rhetoric may or may not have substance. Usually, it does not have substance. This is the connotation it has acquired over time. So basically, fancy language, fancy speech used to persuade people, used to emotionally manipulate people. That speech, that language is called rhetoric. So the importance of rhetoric in economics is being discussed by the author here. Absolutely, Akhil. Politicians' speeches can be called rhetoric. In fact, all fluff, no substance. That is what politician speech is all about. Perfect example. Akshat, difficult read. I would not say difficult, but yes, I would not even classify it as an easy read. So I'd rather go with moderate. Wasn't really difficult by CAT standards. Also, all these passages, by the way, guys, the KitCATs, my sectional tests are all past year CAT questions. So, you get a realistic assessment of where you stand when it comes to CAT, real CAT, because sometimes mock tests are way too difficult. They are way too unrealistic. So some people feel demotivated. ऐसा भी होता है. So इसीलिए I'm trying, to stick to and to limit myself to CAT PYQs. So all these are past year questions. Okay. So it was a moderate read. Question number one. According to the passage, which of the following is the best set of reasons for which one needs to look hard at an economist's language? So basically, why should one look hard at economist's language? What are your answers? What did you mark? Well done, guys. Three is indeed the correct answer. A and C. Let us first try to locate the keyword of this question. Let us try to source it. It seems a good idea to look hard at his language, where his refers to economist. And right before this, author gives us reasons why. He says, figures of speech are not mere frills. They think for us. Someone who thinks of a market as an invisible hand and the organization of work as a production function and its coefficients as being significant, as an economist does, is giving the language a lot of responsibility, which means economist is trying to achieve or accomplish a great deal through his language. So A is clearly one of the reasons why we should look hard at an economist language. And towards the end, though not directly stated as one of the reasons, but overall understanding of the passage will help us to understand that it is also one of the reasons. When he says the conversations of astronomers or of other professionals rarely affect the lives of other people, those of economists do so on a large scale. So economists talk, or their language has a large scale impact on a large scale effect on ordinary people's lives, which means C can also be sourced. A and C should be the answer. In light of the definition of rhetoric given in the passage, which of the following will have the least element of rhetoric? Okay, the least element of rhetoric. Let's see. Excellent, guys. 4 is, in fact, the correct answer. Rhetoric has been defined in the passage as a means to persuade people to do something, right? Accomplishing things with language, persuading the readers of a novel that its characters breathe, or bringing scholars to accept a particular argument and reject the other. So basically, rhetoric has been defined as persuasive speech or persuasive language. You're trying to convince people, you're trying to persuade people into doing something, prodding them into doing something. However, command is order. Therefore, there is no persuasion required when you're commanding, or when you have authority and you can actually make someone do something through your orders. So commands given by army officers obviously are not rhetoric. All three will have elements of rhetoric. Fourth will have least element. Number 3, as used in the passage, which of the following is closest to the in meaning to the statement, the culture of the conversation makes the words arcane. Okay. Absolutely correct. 3 is the correct answer. Economists tend to use terms unfamiliar to the lay person. It was written here. The culture of the conversation makes the words arcane, but the people in the unfamiliar conversation are not Martians, which means layman has not come from Mars. So conversational habits are similar, though conversation itself per se may not be familiar. So the sentence therefore means economists tend to use terms which are unfamiliar to the layperson, but though the underlying linguistic forms are similar, so conversational habits are similar, he can still identify some structure, some forms, identify with some structures. Okay. Arcane, that's the next question. RM. As used in the passage, which of the following is closest alternative to the word arcane? Let's see. What are your answers? Absolutely. Mysterious is the correct answer. Absolutely correct. Now, why not secret or why not covered? Even if you do not know the literal meaning of the word arcane, and if you understand the contextual meaning here, it means unfamiliar. The context tells you the meaning of the word arcane, which is unfamiliar. Right? So basically, the author tells you, as explained for the previous question, the author tells you that the language that economists use make the conversation arcane, which is unfamiliar to the common man, to the layman. Now, unfamiliar means mysterious. It's not secret or covert, because that these two words carry a connotation or rather a denotation of deliberate attempt. So it's deliberate, it's intentional, it's voluntary. If something is secret, if something is kept secret, if economists are using secret language or covert language, they're doing it voluntarily. So they do not voluntarily want to keep their terms secret or covert. The terms, they use jargons, they use such language that common man is not able to understand or comprehend it. Therefore, comprehend them. Therefore, it is mysterious essentially. Kshitij, as used in the passage, simply means context, according to the context of discussion. Is asking you to identify the contextual meaning and not the literal meaning. Definition in the dictionary may vary, but he's asking you to identify the contextual meaning. Number 5, based on your understanding of the passage, which of the following would you agree with? Okay. So according to the passage, which is correct? What are your answers to this one? Now this could be a tricky question for some of you. So if you left this question, I would say good. Also for number 4, question number 4, if you did not understand the context of discussion, if you did not understand the contextual meaning and you left the question, therefore, it was a wise decision. For number 5, 4 and 5 both. For number 5, the correct answer, by the way, is 3. Option 3. So understand, here he says, rhetoric means the study of all the ways of accomplishing things with language, be it inciting a mob to lynch the accused, be it persuading readers of a novel that its characters breathe, they're real, or bringing scholars to accept the better argument and reject the worse. So basically, it is rhetoric that makes scholars or scientists accept one argument over another, which simply means both views, the geocentric and heliocentric views. Now, these two views, they don't matter actually. We are not concerned with the specific views. They are X and Y for us. So view X and view Y of the solar system, they both use rhetoric to persuade the scholars, right? They use rhetoric to persuade the scholars to buy the views, essentially. Therefore, 3 has to be the answer. Now, which view wins, which view prevails, is determined by the power of rhetoric. किसका rhetoric ज़्यादा strong है, कौन ज़्यादा persuade कर पा रहा है, according to that. So 3 is the answer. No view is inherently superior. According to the passage, no view is inherently superior. It is rhetoric which makes one a view more acceptable and the other one, rejected. Okay. So minimum, the hygiene score was 3 on 5. You should have scored, at least you should have gotten 3 questions correct out of 5. A good score would be 4 on 5 and 5 on 5 would be a brilliant score. So this is the hygiene factor for this passage. 3 is the hygiene factor, okay? 3 on 5. Baki, lekin fir, mind you, if you got the first 3 correct and these tricky ones, I would not say difficult, I would say tricky. You should have left these questions. 3 correct and 2 wrong is a bad score, right? So the hygiene factor is 3. Moving on. Good, guys. Okay. Now this second passage was about philosophy as a discipline. What is its status? Where does it lie in that whole spectrum from theology to science? So author is of the view that philosophy lies midway between, it lies somewhere between theology and science. In that theology has no reason. It does not appeal to reason. It is a system of beliefs, while science is always obsessed with definiteness and certainty. Now, between these two extremes lies philosophy, which appeals to reason and is not always definitive in character. So this is author stance. Towards the end, author gives this suggestion. It is not good either to forget the questions that philosophy asks or to persuade ourselves that we have found indubitable answers to them, to teach how to live with certainty, to live without certainty, and yet without being paralyzed by hesitation is perhaps the chief thing that philosophy in our age can still do for those who study it. So basically, author says that philosophy is important. It is not a dispensable discipline, really. So the purpose of philosophy is what? Oh, I just read the answer. What is the purpose of philosophy? To teach us how to live without certainty is the purpose of philosophy. Therefore, the correct answer must be, what are your answers? Absolutely correct. Option 2, to help us cope with uncertainty and ambiguity. Yes, yes, yes. Not to reduce uncertainty, rather to endure uncertainty. Here also he says, no, uncertainty must be endured, right? Absolutely. 1 and 3 actually, run contrary to the idea presented in the passage. To reduce or to explain uncertainty would mean to get rid of uncertainty. Rather, philosophy's job is to make us comfortable with uncertainty. It's okay. Even if we do not know, it is okay not to know. That is what philosophy does to us. Okay. But it is Kshitij, yes, because it has the word uncertainty, but it says reduce uncertainty. It doesn't really reduce uncertainty. It makes us comfortable with it. Live with it, acceptance. It teaches us acceptance. That's what the passage says. Based on this passage, what can be concluded about the relationship between, okay, philosophy and science? What is the relationship between philosophy and science? Oh, there's no relation between the two. I think it would be the first answer choice that I would eliminate, guys. I would eliminate this answer choice because, it is intermediate between theology and science. Philosophy lies between theology and science. So it is written, it's a product of, philosophy is a product of two factors, theology and science. So how is it unrelated to science? सबसे पहला option जो मैं eliminate करूंगा वो यही होगा, option 3. So that's wrong. Now, are they antagonistic? Well, we'll have to see that. Antagonistic means they run opposite. They're opposites in a sense. They're antithesis to one another. Guys, science tells us what we can know, but what we can know is little. And if we forget how much we cannot know, we may become insensitive. Theology, on the other hand, includes a dogmatic belief that we have knowledge. Okay. So, philosophy teaches us uncertainty, what we cannot know. Understand? Science teaches us what we can know. And philosophy teaches us how to live with uncertainty, which means what we cannot know. What we cannot know. So science teaches us one thing, what we can know, and philosophy teaches us the remaining part, what we cannot know or what we do not know. Therefore, their relationship is complementary. They complete one another in a sense. Correct answer, option 2. Kshitij, what we can know is taught by science. What we cannot know is taught by philosophy. So, guys, what we can know, what we cannot know, that makes the universal set, no? That's what complementary is. So the two are complementary, right? They complete each other in a sense. Okay, philosophy derives from science. Uh, Actually, philosophy does not derive from science. It's a product of two factors. It's a fact. It's a product of two factors. So it does not derive from science. Derive would mean it's a derivative. It's a subset. It's a subset of science, you know, or it is one of the forms of philosophy. Is one form of science. It's not a form. It's a combination. It lies midway between science and theology. So it does not really derive from it, right? It's a product of two factors. So slight factual twist here. A slight factual twist involved. Okay. From reading the passage, what can be concluded about? Now, this was an interesting question. And I recommend that you leave such questions because they're demanding and you can never be certain. You can never be sure about them. From reading the passage, what can be concluded about the profession of the author? He's most likely not to be a. He's most likely not to be a. Akhil, did you read that note? Guys, did you read that note? Correct answer is option 4. I told you. That is why I told you. Leave such questions. Leave such questions. He's most likely not to be a theologian. How? There are two reasons for choosing this answer choice. There are two reasons for choosing this answer choice. Number one, throughout the passage, author has been most critical of theology. Do you agree, guys, that author has been most critical of theology? You know, it is a set of beliefs, no appeal to reason. Theologians are, a people with dogmatic beliefs. So he's been most critical of theology as a profession. That's the first reason. Philosophers को लेकर he is positive. Obviously, scientists को लेकर he has a balanced view that scientists do some good, but their good is incomplete. Historians को लेकर he has been completely neutral. He hasn't said anything about, but he has been most critical of theology as a profession. That's the first reason, guys. I'm saying he has been critical of theology, the most critical. It's not about whether he's discussing theology, science, philosophy. He's discussing all of them. He's discussing philosophy, he's discussing science, he's discussing theology, yes. But in this discussion, he has been most critical of theology. And that is why he's most likely not a theologian. Now, second reason, guys, please listen to this very, very carefully. Second reason. Nowhere in the passage has the author distanced himself from any of these professions other than theology. Theologies have professed to give answers, all too definite, but their definiteness he has distanced himself. This is a third person classification or categorization, which means author is most likely not a theologian himself because he's distancing himself from this set of people. He has not distanced himself from other sets of people. Here also, to this, one may answer as a historian. Now, this one could be the author. We don't know that. But here, this third person, narration tells us that he is not a theologian in all probability. So that's how, these are two reasons why I chose number 4, which is also the correct answer. Number 9.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, one doubt. I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, in the fourth passage, it is written that uh, just a second. The answer of the historian, insofar as I am capable of giving it,
Hmm.
as I am capable of giving it, it means he is an historian or not.
Yeah. He's most likely a historian, no? So that also helps us eliminate option 1. Does not help us choose option 1 because he's
But
most likely not. Yeah.
but if he is a historian, then how could he be a scientist or a philosopher?
Then you should, which means you should mark or 2, 3, and 4 as your answers. But we can't have 3 answers to the question. Therefore,
Okay.
right. Number 9. According to the author, which of the following statements about the nature of universe must be definitely true? Okay, definitely true according to the author. Let's see what are answers to this one. The universe has unity. We don't know. The universe has a purpose. We don't know. The universe has evolving towards a goal. No, none of the above is the correct answer. All these are questions actually. Yeah, all these are questions here written here somewhere. Where is it evolving towards some goal? Question है, answer नहीं है. Does it have any unity or purpose? Question है, answer नहीं है. Which simply means that are these statements definitely true? We don't know. So philosophy is all about that. This was probably the easiest of the lot. So number 9 is the easiest. So for this passage, I would say the hygiene factor was should have gotten number 6 correct and number 9 correct. Should have left 8 और 7 को थोड़ा सोचते तो कर लेते. 2 is the hygiene factor. 3 is a good score. 4 is a wonderful score. And guys, you will understand how did you all get number 6 and 9 correct? And were you also confident while answering number 6 and number 9? More confident, you know, way more confident than you were while answering number 7 and number 8. So these are simple indications that this is a question worth attempting. This is a question not worth attempting. You know, even while attempting a particular question, whether you are confident whether it is worth attempting or not. But one problem with most of us is that we are egoistic. We are an egoistic lot. Our species, you know, or rather, should I say egotistic? So, guys, we think we have notions of self grandeur, delusions of grandeur. हमें लगता है कि यार नहीं हम सब कुछ कर लेंगे. वो पता नहीं क्यों लगता है. टाइम एंड अगेन वी फेल. तब भी लगता है कि हम सब कुछ कर लेंगे एंड हर क्वेश्चन का आंसर करना जरूरी है, which it is not. Okay, there are red flags. Number 7, number 8 को करते हुए there must have been you must have gotten stuck, must have gotten confused between two answer choices. यार हाँ इधर या उधर लग रहा है. 8 तो बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट था. 7th was still doable. 8 was very difficult. So जैसे many of you I can see got 2 correct and 2 wrong. वही -2 बचा सकते थे आप guys. And this trust me, जो -2 बचता ना, इसका बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है टोटल स्कोर पर एंड टोटल परसेंटाइल पर. So please do not over attempt. Okay, next. So this particular passage was about how historiography, Indian historiography has evolved. It was a nice read, yes. So how Indian historiography has evolved. Author tells us earlier, Indian history was written almost exclusively by Muslims. Then British officials, eventually some Indian historians started entering the profession. They finally, started writing history of India from India's perspective, and not the official line that earlier British historians had taken or had been taking. Finally, I know that answers, that pretty much answers number 10. Yeah, I know. And towards the end, he says that now these historians have started writing not just about the political factors, but they have also started considering social and economic aspects of Indian history, which is a positive sign. But last part was the most interesting. He says history is a comprehensive subject. You cannot fragment it into political, social, economic history. You cannot focus exclusively on one aspect and ignore the others. That is not how it works. Therefore, a legit historian must consider all the aspects and must form an integrated picture. That is what the author's final take is. So the passage culminates in a suggestion, actually, a recommendation. Which of the following may be the closest in meaning to the statement restored India to Indian history? I think I've answered that question. Writing India-centric Indian history. That is the answer, option 3. The discussion itself. Which of the following is closest implication of the statement? To break new ground or perhaps to deepen a freshly turned furrow? Now, obviously, this is not a literal statement. So option 1 cannot be the answer. Start a new stream of thought or help establish a recently emerged perspective. That pretty much sums up the context of discussion. Begin or conduct further work on an existing archaeological sites to unearth new evidence. Now, unearthing new evidence at an archaeological site, where does archaeological site come from? Archaeological site is not mentioned at all. We are talking about history. We're not talking about archaeological sites at all. Of course, it is alien. So option 3 also gets out. 4 says begin writing history free of any biases. No. In fact, the gist of the passage is there have always been biases in writing of history. Now, these biases have varied with time. Here he says varying biases. Which means earlier the historians were biased towards political history. Now they are biased towards social or economic history. They have never considered history as a comprehensive discipline. They have always considered it in fragmented ways. So bias to raha hi raha hai hamesha. Number 12. Historians moved from writing political history to writing administrative history because what is the reason? Okay. So it was written right. But when the Raj was settled down, the British Raj was settled down, glamour departed from politics, okay? And they turned to the less glorious but more solid ground of administration. So the reason was the glamour faded away, na? The glamour faded away, na? Which means politics did not retain its past glamour. Politics did not retain its past glamour. That was the immediate reason why the historians moved to writing administrative history. That Raj was settled down was not the immediate reason. It led to number 3, and number 3 then in turn led to absolutely. Then it in turn led to the death of political history in a sense, and emergence of writing of administrative history. So that's how, guys. That's exactly what I explained. Number 2 was not the immediate reason. Number 2 led to number 3, and number 3 led to what is written in the question statement. Consider it this way. Had only number 2 happened, अगर सिर्फ ब्रिटिश राज सेटल हुआ होता, had the British Raj settled down, logically, would it have led to a shift from political history to administrative history? Just because the British Raj settled down does not make a logical connection. There must have been some intervening factor, no? Because the British Raj settled down, the lore of political history, faded, and therefore people started writing administrative history. According to the author, which of the following is not among the attitudes of Indian historians of Indian origin? Attitudes of Indian historians of Indian origin. Okay. Obviously, number 4 is not one of the attitudes. This is what he prescribes in the last part. So this was an easy question. Author says that this must be done, which is not right now done. Okay. And he deplores the fact. So number 4 is the answer. This was an easy question. Number 11 was easy. Even number 10 was, I'd say, easy. So the hygiene factor should be 3. It was an overall an easy passage. 3 on 4. And 4 is a good score. All 4 correct. Good job. Okay. Parajumbles, number 14. Branded disposable diapers are available at many supermarkets and drugstores. Okay. Sounds like a general statement. Intro, maybe. Opening sentence. If one supermarket sets a higher price for a diaper, customers may buy that brand elsewhere. पता नहीं कहाँ आएगा. Don't know. Okay. By contrast, the demand for private label products may be less price sensitive since it is available only at a corresponding supermarket chain. So that's a new chain of thought. By contrast, first we will discuss all about branded diapers, and then we will talk about private label products. So all the sentences that talk of branded diapers should come before option C, before statement C. Let us see. So the demand, okay, so that's another marker. So the demand for branded diapers at any particular store may be quite price sensitive. What is the reason behind it? Because they are available at many supermarkets. So the demand at any particular store may be quite price sensitive. If one supermarket sets a higher price for a diaper, then customers may buy that brand elsewhere. So B is a description of D, which means A, B, D is a concrete triplet. ABD is a concrete triplet, which must be followed by C because by contrast. And EF obviously give us examples of private label diapers. And for instance, only Save-On drug stores have Save-On drugs diapers. So this is an example of C, because the availability of a private label product at a corresponding supermarket chain. This goes with E as an example. So F should be the last one. So ABD, CEF is the correct answer, guys. Number 15, as officials, their vision of a country should not run too far beyond that of the local people with whom they have to deal. Who is this? Their vision. Okay. Ambassadors have to choose their words. Sounds like an intro. To say what they feel, they have to say they appear to be denying or ignoring part of what they know. Achha. So with ambassadors, as with the other expatriates in Black Africa, there appears at a first meeting a kind of ambivalence. Okay. So now C is a description of D. Which means DC is a pair. They do a specialized job. Okay. This is a job description. Ambassadors have to choose their words. They do a specialized job. Why they have to choose their words? It's a reason, because they have a specialized job. So A is further job description, as officials, their vision of a country should not run too far beyond something, 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 which means BEA is a concrete triplet. So the correct answer must be BEA DC. The next questions were grammar based. Choose the grammatically and stylistically correct sentence. Okay. The main problem with the notion of price discrimination is that it is not always a bad thing, but that it is, oh, okay. So not X, but Y. Okay. Not X, but Y. The moment I see this structure, not X, but Y, I know the question is on the concept law of parallelism. Okay, LOP, law of parallelism. These X and Y must be grammatically parallel. They must be equivalent constructions. Okay, let's see. Option A, not always a bad thing, but that it is the monopoly. No, it's not parallel. Not parallel. Not that it is something, something. Where is the but part? Where is the but part? There's no but. So this is also eliminated. Not that something, something, but that something, something. C should be the correct answer. Not it is always a bad thing, but that. Okay, the not part does not have a that, but part has a that. Again, not parallel. So C is the correct answer, law of parallelism. Number 17. A symbiotic relationship develops among the contractors, bureaucracy, and the politicians. Again, it's a law of parallelism question. The contractors, the politicians, बेचारा bureaucracy अकेला क्यों है? Why is it alone? It should also have the definite article the bureaucracy, eliminated. Contractors, bureaucracy, and politicians. So this part is correct. We'll keep this option for now. Contractors, bureaucracy, and the politicians. Now again violates the law of parallelism. The contractors, bureaucracy, and politicians. So this the is common. The is common. Contractors, bureaucracy, and politicians parallel. So B, it has to be between B and D. Now let us read B and D vertically. One problem that I can see, one difference that I can see is generated through and generated by underhand deals. Through is used for means, which is semantically correct. By is used for agency, which is semantically wrong here in option D. So the correct answer is option B. Through is used for means, by is used for an agency. So black money is generated by a company or an organization or a human being, the agency basically. But here we are talking about the means of generating black money. Underhand deals is a means, and therefore we need through rather than by. It's a preposition question, therefore. Okay. Opprobrium, a vocab-based question, clearly. It means harsh criticism. Either you know, it's a binary question, either you know it or don't know it. Okay, harsh criticism. Perfect. All right, choose the correct summaries. Some decisions will be fairly obvious, no-brainers. Your bank account is low, but you have a blah, blah, blah. Okay, these are examples. This was a topic sentence. So the summary must have the topic sentence. The other parts are simply examples of this topic sentence. We must identify the topic sentence. D does not have the topic sentence. These are minor points or examples, cannot be summary, eliminated. Problem with C is factually incorrect. Easy decisions are not called no-brainers. It is not a standard name for easy decisions. It is author who gives them this name. He calls them no-brainers. It is not a standard definition of no-brainers, right? Okay. Factually incorrect. Goes out. All right. Between A and B, let's see. Some decisions are obvious under certain circumstances. Some decisions are no-brainers. More or less the same thing. You may, for example, readily accept a relative's offer of free holiday accommodation. Yes. Or step in for your boss when she's away. Okay. Examples are condo offers from in-laws and job offers from bosses. It's not a job offer. It's rather, stepping in for the boss. So this is factually incorrect. Correct answer A. All right. Number 20. Physically, inertia is a feeling that you just can't move. Mentally, it's a sluggish mind. Even if you try to be sensitive, if your mind is sluggish, you just don't feel anything intensely. You may even see a tragedy enacted in front of you, may not be able to respond meaningfully. Okay, makes sense. You may see a blah, blah, blah. So the entire passage is about mental inertia and how it reduces your capacity to respond to, respond meaningfully to important events. All right. Let's see. Inertia makes your body and mind sluggish. Well. Inertia does not really make your body and mind sluggish. It makes your body lobotomized, so to say. You feel stoned. You can't move. It's just the mind that gets sluggish. So it's factually slightly distorted, slightly incorrect. And they don't become insensitive. They become unresponsive. So this is also factually incorrect. It's not probably not a flawless answer choice, but we'll keep it for now. Let's see if we have a better answer choice. When you have inertia, you don't act. Although you see one person exploiting another or one group persecuting another, you don't get angry because you're incapable. It is a minor detail rather than, yeah, it's just an example part or explanation part rather than the essence of the passage. Inertia is of two types, by the way. Author has not classified, no classification in the passage. He explains how inertia impacts our body and mind. What implications, what ramifications does it have on body, on mind, but he does not classify it as of two types, physical inertia and mental inertia. So that's, distorted version of the essence. Physical inertia stops your body from moving, correct? Mental inertia freezes your energy and stops your mind from responding meaningfully, perfect, to events, tragedies in front of. Excellent. So D, option D is the correct answer. I hope you got the reason why C is not the answer. There's no classification of inertia into two categories. All right. So I'd say 19th was easy. 20th, probably moderate level summary question, a quick analysis. 18th, a vocab-based question. You should be able to do it if you are prepared sincerely enough. 17th, easy question if you are prepared grammar. 16th, easy question. Paradigms, both of them are easy. At least 14th was easy. 15th, maybe moderate level. Okay. And passages we have already classified as easy or moderate. So an ideal score, guys. I'd say greater than or equal to 15 correct. Would be a good score, which would mean 45. 45 would be a good score. Which means I'm, I'm saying 100% accuracy, by the way. So if you're scoring anywhere near 45, 43, 4, 42, it's a good score. All right, guys. That should be it. I hope you enjoyed.